welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. Coming here a day after a big win. We've all missed this feeling, and in today's video we're going to be talking plenty more about yesterday's victory over Mallorca, which was our biggest away victory since December of 2018. It was a real statement, it was the perfect way to return, and in today's video we're going to be looking here at the shape of the team, in particular that forward line. We're going to be talking about the role of Griezmann, about his performance. We're also going to be talking there a lot about Martin Braithwaite, and of course there's plenty more too with Messi, Araujo and Alba, all impressing. Full analysis coming up for you. Let's get right into it. But if we do start there with the man himself, Lionel Messi, who returned to football in style with 2 assists on the night and a goal, and it was a brilliant display overall from Messi, and in doing so, in that 94th minute goal, a brilliant goal that it was on that right foot, he became the first La Liga player ever to score 20 plus league goals in 12 successive seasons. 12 seasons, every single one of those 20 plus league goals. Not only incredible quality, not only brilliance from Messi, but consistently doing it week in, week out, year in, year out. And last night as well, he created 3 times as many chances as any other Barcelona player. 6 chances created on the night, a really good playmaking performance. And for Messi, it's the perfect introduction here back into football. There was doubts surrounding him regarding his fitness, whether he'd be fully fit. I did believe that Messi took a little bit of time to get into the game, but when he did, he really started firing. 90 minutes under his belt, and I'm sure in the games to come, plenty more where that came from. And I think also his partner in crime, as it always is, was Jordi Alba. But I was so impressed with Alba yesterday, not just because of that combination play with Messi, not just going forward there, because we know what Alba can do. We know that Alba always has that telepathic combination with Messi. They're always going to look for each other, and when it comes off, it is absolutely fabulous. But Alba on his own yesterday was very good. He didn't need Messi. He didn't need to combine there with Messi to have an impact on the game. He did it on his own, and I was really impressed with the way that he was going forward. He put in a brilliant ball in for Arturo Vidal's goal. He was also good in the final third in terms of that final ball, which isn't always perfect from Jordi Alba. But above all of that, I was actually impressed with his defensive work, because many a time with Alba, going forward he can be brilliant, but I think defensively he can have defensive lapses. He can have moments where he loses concentration, where he loses focus, but I just thought yesterday, coming back there after that break, he looked sharp, he looked motivated, he looked fully focused on his job, and I think he did a great job there up against Kubo, who's such a quick player. He could go on either side, he gave him some real problems, but Alba stood up to that challenge. He defended well, he went forward well, he was disciplined in his play, and I just thought there, from a player that we know has quality, we know that on his day, when he's fully at it, Jordi Alba could be one of the best in his position, and yesterday he showed some very good signs. Please let this continue. But I think, to be honest, you look right across that Barcelona team yesterday, and there wasn't many players in that team who didn't play well. I thought it was a really good introduction back into football. I think they exceeded all of our expectations in the way that we played, and in particular there, I was really happy to see the shape of Barcelona, and in particular here, I think we look really balanced, because you're talking there about Jordi Alba. A lot of the time we've said that Barcelona have become too one-sided on our play, too much orientated here down the left-hand side, but I actually thought yesterday, as you can see here, our attacks were very balanced. In the first half, I actually felt as though we were more dangerous down the right-hand side with Sergio Roberto as opposed to the left. But of course then, Jordi Alba got himself into the game, and I just felt as though there were so many threats. We were going down the wings, we were going down centrally, you've got players there like Braithwaite, like Messi, getting into good areas, good positions, and I just felt in that game there were so many different options of players on the ball, there was so much movement, something that we spoke about there before the game, and that was really good to see. And what you can also see there for me is the introduction of Arturo Vidal in midfield, and exactly what he gives you there in that midfield role, because you can actually see it here. I want to pick out something from the first half very early on in the game, and it just illustrates what Vidal can give to the team, because we spoke there about Messi when he wants to drift inside, and also there when he wants to drift deep, because you can see Messi here taking up a very deep role, looking to get on the ball, looking to try and make things happen and dictate the play, and that's where Arturo Vidal then goes from an interior, goes from a midfielder to actually push up into a forward position. Now, he's taking up that position there, he's taking up a man, and he's basically there occupying some space. That's what you've got to do there in a disciplined system, and you can actually see Messi look over his shoulder and check that Arturo Vidal has made that run, that he does have options now ahead of him in the field, and that's what Vidal gives you. He will give you an extra man in the forward line, he will look to replace Messi when he drops in those deep positions, and again yesterday, with his goal, with his overall display, Vidal from midfield gives us a very different option. But I also want to highlight there in particular detail the positioning of the front three out there in the early stages of the game against Mallorca, because to start the game, Messi actually started very, very wide out on that right-hand side, and he was making a real point there to stay in a really wide position, and I think, to be honest, that was almost there for a second just to confuse Mallorca. They didn't really know whether to follow him out there. You've got Griezmann there in a central role, and then you've got Martin Braithwaite out on the left-hand side. That was the way that we started the game, but of course Messi did drift inside, and it was interesting at times to see when Messi came inside. At times Griezmann then came out to the right. At times there was a lot of changing there in the positions up front, and it did show that we were fluid in our play. But in particular, I've got to highlight there the role and the positioning of Martin Braithwaite, because he is out there on that left-hand side, and I just want to highlight his importance to the team, just like we discussed prior to this game in terms of taking up that space. Again, it's a player who's moving into an area just to attract defenders. He is making there the defender again look over his shoulder and think, right, I'm not really sure what to do now, because ideally Mallorca want to defend narrow. Ideally Mallorca there want to pack the middle of the field. But with Braithwaite consistently standing out on that left wing, and he was so disciplined, because that's the thing, it's not easy to do that. At times you can drift inside, at times you can want to come and look for the ball, because if you actually look here over the course of the 90 minutes, Martin Braithwaite didn't touch the ball hardly at all. He had 36 touches over the course of 90 minutes, meaning that he touched the ball there about every 2.5 minutes. For comparison, Messi also played 90 minutes. He touched it 98 times. Braithwaite there out on the left, he needed discipline, he needed to be tactically aware of what his role was, but he did it really, really well, and he works for the team. Now, the problem that I have is that Griezmann is very similar in that profile to Braithwaite. Griezmann was in the middle. He also had very, very few touches, just 23 touches in the time that he was on the field for 57 minutes. But the problem was, Griezmann did nothing going forward. They both work hard. I think their work rate from Braithwaite, from Griezmann, they are both phenomenal workers. Both of them yesterday contributed defensively. But in the attacking areas, Griezmann, nowhere to be seen. Braithwaite, on the other hand, even though he was playing out on the left, even though he was tactically very, very disciplined, as a centre-forward, he still got himself into some great areas. He scored one brilliant goal, he could have easily scored another, and he was involved in the big moments. Whereas Griezmann, he didn't really do enough. He didn't really get involved, and you can't really make the excuse there that he was giving us options off the ball, because he was central. He wasn't really doing anything, and that's the problem right now. Because Suarez comes off the bench, he's on the field for just 33 minutes, but already there, he's got pretty much exactly the same amount of touches on the ball. He was getting on the ball regularly. He came on, he provided an assist, he nearly scored, and right now I see it as Messi involved in everything. Of course, you've got Braithwaite there, out on the left-hand side, very, very important to keep that width in our team, and you add to that the defensive responsibility that he can give, and the fact that he can also score goals, and then you've got Suarez, who came off the bench, he looks sharp, he gets in good areas, we know that he can score goals, and suddenly then you've got a good blend. Now Griezmann has the problem whereby he can't just stand around anymore. He can't just be out there looking for the ball, drifting in and out of games. He has to bring something now to this team. He's got to get himself involved. He's got to have shots on goal. Griezmann didn't manage a single shot on goal last night, and that would be worrying. And I think against Leganés, we are going to see certainly what Setien is going to do here with the front three. I think Griezmann desperately needs not only a goal, but a good display in a Barcelona shirt to get that confidence back. But right now, Braithwaite really banging on the door for that first team place. He wants to stay in the team, and you can't argue there. He gives us a great option on that left, a selfless player who can also Schoolgirls. And just finally, guys, I do have to once again give a shout out to Ronald Araujo. I spoke about him yesterday in my match review, and I was just so impressed with the way that he actually started this game. Whether or not he expected to start this game, we don't know. But either way, he came in and he just looked at home. He looked at home there at centre-back. He defended incredibly well. I thought he had some good headers. He had some good interceptions. He made some good tackles. I think at times people will say, you know, maybe he wasn't the most flamboyant on the ball. He didn't play any incredible passes. But you know what? He was safe. He played it safe at times. He did what he had to do. He didn't make any mistakes. And to be honest, when you're starting your first Barcelona game, that's what you want to do. You don't want to be too expansive. I think that will come. I think we will see a side to Araujo whereby he does play the ball out and he is looking there to make some nicer, more progressive passes. But I think in terms of a first start, you can't go wrong. I thought he didn't make any mistakes. He was fully focused. He looked good alongside Gerard Piqué. And to be honest, what does that say now for Samuel Umtiti? He was on the bench. Whether he was fully fit or not, we don't know. But I think Araujo to come in there, to grab the occasion, to put in a display like that, big pressure now on Sam, and certainly doesn't look good for him in the early stages. But that's the thing, guys. There's so many games to come. We're going to be playing every 3, every 4 days. We're going to see a different variation of players in every single game. And right now for me too, we're talking about this game now. I want to give you some reaction to this brilliant win. But already after this video, I'm already starting preparation on Leganes. The next game is coming so quickly. It's all happening. But look, we're loving it. And if we can continue to play like we did against Mallorca, playing in that way, playing in that fashion, that's what we want to do. That's the Barcelona that we want to see. There's a long way to go, and there's plenty of bigger challenges to come. But I thought the encouraging start was there. There was some good, promising signs. Let's continue that. Let's continue to improve, and we'll all be very happy. So please leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What did you make of the performance of the team? What did you make there of the performance of individuals? Are you expecting more from Antoine Griezmann? What do you think there about Braithwaite's chances of staying in the team? And also, of course, let me know your thoughts on Lionel Messi, on Jordi Alba, and Ronald Araujo. There's plenty more coming up. Like I say, these games, they are coming fast. Get ready for it. We will continue it all here. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will see you soon, of course, with more videos to come. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.